Welcome to Under the Ancient Oaks, a monthly video series about paganism, polytheism, and living a good life during difficult times. I'm John Beckett, Druid, priest, and writer.
The mainstream holidays are over, and we've gone back to work or school or whatever it is we do as a routine during the rest of the year. Perhaps you work in retail or hospitality and your busy season is finally over. Regardless, in the Northern Hemisphere, January is the coldest and most inhospitable weather. We feel a natural urge to stay indoors, gather around the fire, or perhaps gather in front of the gas furnace. This makes January and the season leading up to Imbolc the perfect time for a season of contemplation. So, what should we contemplate? Begin with our most important relationships, with our gods and ancestors and the spirits of the land where we are. Talk to them, make offerings, listen for their presence. Contemplate your families and communities. How can you best serve them in the coming year? Focus on your spiritual practice. Whatever it is that you do on a regular basis, do it regularly, every day. Let nothing short of a certifiable emergency keep you from your prayers or meditations or readings or whatever it is that you do. You don't have to be so strict for the rest of your life. Just do it for this season of Imbolc. Focus on depth rather than breadth. If you pray once a day, pray 3 times a day. If you meditate for 10 minutes, meditate for 15. Don't pick up some new practice that looks interesting. Now is not the time to sample from the spiritual buffet. Instead, practice deeply the things that you've been called to do. Minimize your distractions. It's awfully easy to sit down to the computer to check email and Facebook, and then we follow a link or two and watch a video, and all of a sudden we're out of time. Whatever it is that distracts you from your spiritual practices, set strict rules on it. Not for the rest of your life, but just for this season of Imbolc. Let nothing come between you and your spiritual practices. Should we give up something or fast, like the Christian Lent or the Muslim Ramadan? There is historical precedent for a restricted diet during winter. For our agrarian ancestors, they didn't know if spring would be early or late. And even once spring got there, it would be many weeks until they could plant the crops and tend them and finally harvest them later in the year. Winter was a time to conserve food stocks. Our society has its own problems with food, and New Year's resolutions to lose weight are among some of the least successful there are. Be very wary about tying your spiritual practice to something with such a low probability of success. Instead, just focus on eating healthy and eating simply.
February 9th through 11th, I'll be at the ADF Texas Imbolc Retreat at the U Retreat Center in Mountain Home, Texas. It's suitable for pagans and polytheists of all varieties. It's drivable from almost any place in Texas. I'll be speaking on building alliances across our many communities. This is my PantheaCon presentation. I get to do my first public presentation in front of a small, friendly audience, and those who are there get to hear it a week before everyone else. The next weekend, I'll be at PantheaCon in San Jose, California, the largest indoor pagan gathering in the world. I'll be speaking on building alliances across our many communities at Saturday at 11 a.m. in the Carmel Monterey Room. On Sunday at 1:30 p.m., I'll be speaking on The Shredded Veil in the Obod Hospitality Suite. This will be an opportunity to share our thoughts on the increase in otherworldly experiences many of us have noticed over the past few years, and to talk about what they might mean. I'll also be doing a presentation in the ADF Hospitality Suite. More details on that once it's finalized. April 20th through 22nd, I'll be one of the featured guests at the 2018 Cups Convocation. If you're a UU pagan and you have the ability to travel, I strongly encourage you to support the only national gathering for Cups. And if you're going, I encourage you to register early. Local Cups members had to deal with Hurricane Irma and its aftermath instead of planning and promoting Convo. They're getting a bit of a late start. But all is well and back on schedule, and they could use the early commitments. And I'll be one of the featured guests at Mystic South, July 13th through 15th in Atlanta. More on that in the coming months. There's more on contemplation and spiritual practice in my book, The Path of Paganism. And I write 3 times a week on my blog, also called Under the Ancient Oaks, which is part of the Patheos Pagan channel.
I started my season of contemplation on January 3rd, but there's still plenty of time for you to begin your own. Start now and continue through Imbolc, and then make your observation of Imbolc a special celebration. If you find that some of these practices stay with you, that's a good thing, but the purpose isn't to trick yourself into a deeper practice year-round. The purpose is simply to make the season of Imbolc a sacred and holy season of contemplation. That's all for this month. May the blessings of the gods and ancestors be with you, now and in the days to come.